Hey there, continuing with our Unbounce series. So in the last video, we talked about setting up a thank you page. In this particular video, we are going to implement Google Tag Manager. Now, it's not really related to that thank you page, so forget I even said that, but it can be, right? So in that particular case, we created a thank you page, and through the Google Tag Manager, we're going to fire Google Ads conversions and Meta Pixel conversions. But perhaps you just want to run Google Tag Manager on Unbounce, and perhaps you just want to run it because it is a very efficient way to run a whole bunch of different tags. And we just need to get it set up, because once it's set up, we can plug in things like Google GA4, Analytics 4. We can do all of our Google Ads tracking. We can do call tracking. We can do form submission tracking. We could do LinkedIn Insights tag tracking. We could do Meta Pixel tracking. So there's a whole bunch that we can do through the Google Tag Manager. So I highly recommend using the Google Tag Manager. So that's why we're going to take a quick look at how to get that implemented from scratch. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so let's go over to Google and just do a search for Google Tag Manager. What you want to do is bring this link up. If you haven't created an account, go ahead and create an account. I'm just going to use an existing account that I have here and get signed in to Google that way. Let's see here. Okay, and now once I'm signed in, I'm going to just create something here from scratch. Okay, so create an account, the button in the upper right-hand corner, and I will say my new company. Okay, so just obviously put in your company name, and then I'm going to say www.mycompany.com. So you would just put in your URL. Now, if this is web tracking, for web tracking, and it probably is, then just select web. But you can track other things through the GTM as well. But let's go with web, and then I'm going to say create. Okay, and then you're going to get a bunch of this. Just read through it if you so desire, but then click on yes, and you will be presented with some code. Okay, so there's two pieces of code. This is the most important right here. And it also includes your GTM tracking number, which is right here. Okay, it's elsewhere. It's not that hard to find because they do publish it pretty much everywhere in the GTM once you're logged in. But we're going to just, I'm just going to copy this little piece of code here. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. But if you wanted it, it's also right here, right? It's pretty much, and if you went into admin, it's right here as well. So this is your account number for this new Google Tag Manager account. So now once you have that, just pop back over into Unbounce. And from Unbounce, I'm going to go back to the very beginning here. So what we want to do is under settings, go into Script Manager. And within Script Manager, we're going to click on Add a Script, and we will select Google Tag Manager. Now, while the Tag Manager, we in that earlier screenshot where I was showing you, it showed. Let me go back in there just so you can see. Let's see here. Where are the tags? Here it is. Okay, so install Google Tag Manager. So, it's not a big piece of code, but it's a good sized snippet of code, right? But what Unbounce has done is that they actually they have the code loaded on the back end, so you don't need to put all of that. You just need to put your container ID, which is what we were looking at earlier. So this is the new container ID that came right out of Google Tag Manager, right? Again, that number that we were looking at. All right, so we're going to do that, and we are going to add script details. And once you do that, you're going to apply it to whatever page you so desire. And in this case, I'm going to apply it to lp.brandrocket.net. So I'm going to save. And once it's saved, you'll see something similar to this. Okay, so it shows that we are enabled. Okay, so now Google Tag Manager is connected to your landing page. So now let's pop back over into the Google Tag Manager that we just set up and head back over into Workspace. If this is new to you, it can be pretty confusing, and I would recommend taking a course on Google Tag Manager. I'm not going to get into the inner workings of the Google Tag Manager, but just simply said, it's a place that allows you to add tags and triggers and variables, and it can get quite convoluted. Okay, so I'm going to keep it pretty shallow and basic here, but I am going to add a tag. One tag that we add on pretty much every installation, and that would be something called a conversion linker for conversion tracking. Okay, so it's just something that Google needs to be able to measure conversions more for, so like PPC advertising. And I'm just going to add that really quick here because it's very, very fast. I'm sending it to all pages for the trigger, and then I say save. Just because if I didn't do this, I would have an empty container and then I can't show you anything, right? So this puts something inside what they call a Google Tag Manager container, and then I'm just going to submit it. It gets pushed to the actual Unbounce server at this point because, as you know, we just set up Google Tag Manager on Unbounce, right? So let me just take a quick look at that to make sure everything is working. Into the script manager again, and we can see that here it is. This is what we had enabled. Okay, so having said that, let's go over and take a look at this page. So it was enabled on the following page, lp.brandrocket.net. I'm going to refresh this page, and then we're going to take a look to see what's going on. All right. Okay, so I do have an error that's showing up here. And what is the error? Missing or missing account ID. That's really interesting. I think what I need to do is do a complete refresh on this page. And actually what I realized is that I think this is being caused by the fact we haven't published the page. So we made a change to the script, but we haven't published the page. At least that's the theory I'm going to go by here. So I'm going to jump back over. We're doing this live, right? So no edits. We're just going through and making mistakes as they happen. But I do suspect that this is being caused by the fact that the page had not been published. So let's go back over into this particular page. And once I get that loaded, I'm going to say unpublished, and then I'm going to publish the page again. Wait for a second for that to unpublish, and then I'm going to publish the page, and hopefully this works. If it doesn't, I'm going to dig into this a bit more. All right. So now we're going to go over here and see if this changes at all. All right, let me try one more hard refresh. Okay, so I just checked everything, and everything seems to be set up properly. So I'm not really sure why I'm getting this flag in the Google Tag Assistant Legacy. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open up something which is the newer way of testing this anyway. It's called the Google Tag Assistant. So we're going to take a look at it through the Google Tag Assistant. It's at tagassistant.google.com, and we will take a look at this domain. You'll want to add your own. So again, click Add Domain, and then add in whatever your landing page was. So in this case, we're talking about lp.brandrocket.net. Oh, we got to put the https / there. And then let's fire this baby up and see what we get. Okay, so you can see Tag Assistant is connected now to this particular page. You can see GT debug equals right? So we go over here and it says connected, continue. And then sure enough, here's the output. So here's the tag GTM number that we had added. And then here's the output. So we do have tags fired conversion linkers. So that tells me right there that this is working fine. And that's all there is to it. So hopefully you enjoyed that. So just to quickly recap, what we did is we created an account in the Google Tag Manager. It didn't take that much time, right? So we ended up with a GTM code, and then we went over into Unbounce and went into the scripts editor, and we added it there, and then we published the page, and we kind of stumbled around on this one for sure. But it did, we determined that it just was not, the error was showing up erroneously, because that actually is working. And by the way, I would actually recommend using the Google Tag Assistant when checking tags anyway. This Chrome extension that we were looking at is legacy, so it's probably going to be sunsetted here pretty soon. So just stick with the Google Tag Assistant. That's really your best bet. And that's it. Okay, so like I've said before in other videos, if you haven't yet committed to Unbounce and you're looking to get started, I do want to share something with you. So I do have a special deal for anybody who wants to sign up for Unbounce. You get 20% off your first 3 months or 35% off your first full year. All you have to do is just click on this link down here, and you can find this page at brandrocket.net/Unbounce. All right, so hopefully you found this helpful. If so, please like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you.